welcome back to Bump 200. And what have we been up to? World's fastest bumper car update. And apart from the usual 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Well, yes, we're back on the steering and universal joints and tying up some other loose ends. This was the original setup, which we established is not going to work. So this goes into the actual steering rack. And we had this, and we had this double UJ, which still didn't achieve what we wanted. So here's what we're looking at as an alternative, is a short as possible, single UJ there, which then goes into a slightly thinner rod, which connects to a very small additional UJ, which then goes into this rod, which is our steering device. And by having this little gap in the middle, that will allow us to kink this at about 35 degrees and this at about 35 degrees, and hopefully that will get us in the right spot. If we have to go shorter than that for the UJ itself, we could still use 2 of those if it came to it, and give us another, I don't know, 20 mil maybe. I think I like that idea actually, the 2 smaller ones. It just gives us more flexibility, and it doesn't have to be bustingly thick. That go-kart steering column is 15 mil. I think that's enough. Now, of course, if this doesn't work, are we defeated? No. We have another plan. Plan E? F? I don't know. Anyway, one of these. What's that? Well, it's basically a right angle gearbox, which we would fit to the shaft coming from the rack and pinion steering, and it'll go straight up. No, really, straight up, Gov. I think what we need is another one of these, made up to 7 inches, alright, with a tapered end, which is 12 mil to fit in that little boy. And then we need another little 12 mil section here, and then another one of these, and then we connect that to this, which needs to also be tapered to 12 mil, because it's currently 14.8. Yeah, which is probably some random imperial size, like 5/8 or 17/32, or yeah, whatever. So I have ordered some 12 mil. I almost ordered a little bench lathe. They're quite expensive and quite restrictive in terms of size, obviously. I don't know if it's worth the investment or not. I'd rather like one. This investment has been invaluable, I have to say, but that was only a couple of $100, and lathes are significantly more. Something like that. 12 mil, right there. I think that's what we need. How we go about it is another situation entirely. Honestly, at this point, just to get that down to something that will fit inside that, I think what we're going to do is just bodge it. Actually, as you can see, we've got plenty more of this if we need it. So rather than invest the princely sum of at least $500 in a lathe, which would be nice, we're just going to whittle it down to a square peg. That'll fit in there and be tied down by the grub screw. For the prototype, at least. So let's get grinding. Not the app, just the grinding thing. Yes, I know, you've seen it all before. Anyway, so fine. And that's what this is all about, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Isn't that the definition of lunacy? Anyway, there we go. There it is. And ready to grind that down to 12 mil. So it'll fit in there. That'll test that. Well, yes, Mr. Kawasaki and I have actually whittled that down to fit this. Excellent. Right, that's that sorted. Lovely. Prototype number 2 needs to be swapped for prototype number 1. Slight glitch, not quite dead center. Oops. Sorted and shorted. Yeah, now we just got to wait for the other one of these to turn up and 12mm bit in the middle. There's the other end modified, ready to receive. So we just got the 12mm bit in the middle to fit. But yeah, looking good so far. We have our 12mm pipage, yeah, tubing, rod, that's a rod, yes, anyway, so we just need the other one of these, and then we need to decide, I don't know, where we're going to trim it to start with. We should probably measure it all and calculate exactly what we need, but that's not the way we do things here. I think we'll chop that up into various sections, maybe a 2-inch length and a 3-inch length, and see what happens. Try them all. Give ourselves some options. And there it is, completed. So, yep, that's to the steering mechanism rack, and there's our medium size. There's a very small one and a longer one if we need it. And there's our steering. That medium-sized bit in, it's about the same size as what we had before. But hopefully this bit in the middle will make a difference. I don't honestly know. Like I said, physics was never my strong point. Not as bad as chemistry though. I did set fire to the chemistry lab once. Talking of which, we need to find our test tube to put it in the vise and see if it vaguely works. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh, yes it does. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? We have steering, I hope. Well, what do you think? I think it might be a success, which is a relief at the same time. All that remains to do now is to fit it up for real in the bumper car and see what happens. Well, there it is, hooked up to the steering rack, under the motor. Nice angle there, nice angle there, and there it is. And it's turning the wheels. How about that? Right, Jove, I think we've cracked it. Right, what next? Well, the other end. Yes, the rear end. We're still waiting on Ron for axles and things like that. So that'll be next time. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to start looking at fuel tanks and getting the old R6 motor fired up. So, as always, thanks for tuning in again and watching the update. If you thought it was any good, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. And, of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.